Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have to tell you, the moment I finished watching that island showdown, something just wouldn't leave my mind. Call it a gut feeling, call it years of watching General Hospital pull the rug out from under us, but I never truly bought the idea that Cassius was gone for good. I've seen too many final deaths on this show suddenly become anything but final. Around here, if there isn't a funeral that leaves absolutely no room for doubt, I always keep one eye open. What really caught my attention wasn't only the fight itself, it was Z. That man doesn't waste a single move. He checked Cassius for a pulse and then almost too quickly shifted all of his attention to getting Jocelyn out of there. Now, maybe that's exactly what happened, but maybe it isn't. That's the part that keeps my wheels turning. The more I think about it, the more I wonder what happened after everyone stopped watching. We saw Jocelyn rushed off to General Hospital, but Cassius? His story suddenly goes quiet. That's an awfully convenient gap in the timeline, isn't it? I'll tell you what, that kind of silence usually means the writers are protecting a secret. I've watched enough soap operas over the years to know that sometimes what they don't show us matters even more than what they do. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if Z quietly had Cassius loaded onto his helicopter and flown somewhere no one would ever think to look. A private medical facility, a secure safe house, some hidden location where only a handful of trusted people know the truth. That feels exactly like something a man like Z would arrange. He's always several moves ahead of everyone else, and keeping Cassius alive in complete secrecy could become one of the smartest cards he has left to play. And honestly, if Cassius really is Nathan's twin, letting him disappear forever feels like a terrible waste of a character. Whether people love him or hate him, he creates tension every time he appears. He has unfinished business, unanswered questions, and connections that still haven't been fully explored. That's the kind of character General Hospital usually keeps tucked away until the perfect moment arrives to shock everybody. Then there's Jocelyn. If Cassius is officially believed to be dead, her path suddenly becomes much cleaner. She can paint him as Sidwell's partner in the cold fusion operation without anyone standing up to defend himself. A dead man can't argue. A dead man can't expose another version of the truth. From Z's perspective, that's incredibly useful. As long as the world believes Cassius died on Spoon Island, the story can be shaped however it needs to be. That's why I can't shake the feeling that Z isn't simply hiding a survivor, he's protecting a strategy. Cassius may be far more valuable alive than dead, but only if nobody else knows he's breathing. Keeping that secret gives Z control, and in Port Charles, control is often more powerful than money or weapons. Lord have mercy, we've watched secrets become the strongest currency on this show for decades. And let's not forget something else. Soap operas love emotional payoffs. Imagine everyone believing Cassius is gone, only for him to walk back into Port Charles months later. The expressions on Jocelyn's face, the panic from everyone who built their plans around his death, and the avalanche of new questions would instantly breathe fresh life into several storylines. That's exactly the kind of twist that gets longtime viewers leaning closer to the television. So no, I'm not convinced we've seen the last of Cassius. Until someone gives me undeniable proof that his story is truly over, I'm keeping my doubts. Maybe I'm wrong, but experience tells me General Hospital rarely closes the door this quietly on a character with this much potential. If Z is hiding the truth, then I have a feeling we're only seeing the first chapter of a much bigger surprise. And if that day finally comes when Cassius steps back into the light, I won't be shocked at all. I'll simply smile, shake my head, and say, I knew there was more to this story than they wanted us to believe. I just can't shake this feeling that Cullum's plan didn't end when he did. The more I think about everything that happened on Spoon Island, the more it looks like someone else simply picked up where he left off. And the person who keeps coming back to my mind is Z. At first, I was focused on the same question everyone else was asking, did Cassius survive or not? But after sitting with it for a while, I realized that might not even be the most important question. The real question is, who benefits if everyone believes Cassius is dead? Once I looked at the story from that angle, the entire situation started making a lot more sense to me. Cullum had every reason to make Cassius the perfect fall guy. If all the blame landed on one man, then everyone else connected to the cold fusion operation could quietly move on without taking responsibility. I've watched enough soap operas over the years to know that powerful people are always looking for someone else to carry the burden. It happens all the time. The one person who can't defend himself ends up being blamed for everything, while the people who truly pulled the strings fade into the background. That's exactly why I don't think Cassius being labeled the villain is an accident. It feels like part of a much larger strategy that was already in motion long before that final confrontation. What really makes me suspicious is how perfectly everything works out for the WSB if the official story never changes. Think about it for a minute. If Cassius is believed to be dead, then he can't tell anyone what really happened. He can't challenge the accusations against him, and he certainly can't expose anyone who may have manipulated him along the way. That's a pretty comfortable position for an intelligence agency to be in. It gives them complete control over the narrative. And if there's one thing we've learned from General Hospital, it's that control is often worth more than the truth itself. That's why I keep coming back to Z. I've never seen him as a man who measures success by honesty. He measures success by results. He's calm, patient, and always thinking several moves ahead of everyone else. If telling the complete truth puts the WSB at risk, I honestly don't believe he would hesitate to leave out certain details or even create an entirely different version of events. That may sound harsh, but that's simply the impression his character has given me from the very beginning. So when Z tells everyone that Cassius died, I don't automatically accept it as fact. Instead, I find myself wondering whether he's protecting the truth or hiding it. I'll tell you what really keeps my curiosity alive. From a storytelling perspective, eliminating Cassius this quickly just doesn't seem like the smartest move. Ryan Pavey returned to General Hospital with a character who instantly created mystery, emotional conflict, and endless possibilities because of his connection to Nathan. Why spend all that time introducing such an intriguing character only to close the door on him before those stories have a chance to fully develop? That doesn't sound like the General Hospital I've been watching all these years. This show has always been patient when it comes to building major payoffs, and Cassius still feels like a character with far too much unfinished business to disappear forever. I also noticed something that I don't think was accidental. The writers never gave us the kind of ending that completely erased every doubt. We weren't shown undeniable proof. We weren't given a final farewell that left no room for questions. Instead, they left little gaps in the story, almost inviting fans to fill them with theories. I've learned over the years that when General Hospital wants viewers to stop asking questions, it usually makes things crystal clear. When it doesn't, there's usually a reason. That uncertainty feels intentional, and honestly, that's one of the oldest tricks in the soap opera playbook. The beauty of that message is that it doesn't promise Cassius is alive, but it doesn't close the door either. Instead, it encourages everyone to keep wondering. And if there's one thing soap opera fans love more than a shocking return, it's the mystery leading up to it. Every week that passes without a clear answer only makes the speculation stronger. The longer the audience debates what really happened, the bigger the payoff becomes if the truth finally comes out. That's part of what has kept General Hospital entertaining for so many years, and I don't think the writers have forgotten that formula. When I picture where this story could be heading, I can't help getting excited. Imagine months going by with everyone convinced Cassius died on Spoon Island. Jocelyn moves forward believing the official version of events. The WSB protects its reputation, and the people who benefited from Cassius taking the blame start feeling comfortable again. Then, just when nobody expects it, Cassius walks back into Port Charles alive. Lord have mercy. Can you imagine the look on everyone's face? Every carefully constructed lie would begin to crumble, and every secret buried alongside his supposed death would suddenly come back to life. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll gladly admit that's possible. But after watching General Hospital for so many years, I've learned never to mistake silence for certainty. Some of the biggest moments in the show's history were built on letting viewers believe a story was finished when it was really just beginning. Right now, that's exactly how this feels to me. Until I see undeniable proof that Cassius is truly gone, I'm holding on to my doubts. In fact, I think these latest leaks are only setting the stage for something much bigger, and if Cassius eventually returns, I honestly believe it will become one of the most satisfying twists we've seen in a very long time.